Forget that outdated image of a notary as just some simple paper pusher quietly stamping documents in the back of a bank. In this explainer, we're diving into the intense, highly regulated world of the notary signing agent, or NSA. In a real estate transaction, the NSA is literally the high-stakes, impartial guardian of the entire closing process. It is a demanding role where a single missed initial or a smudged stamp can entirely collapse a funded loan. So let's jump right into this certification study material and see exactly what it takes to survive and thrive at the loan signing table.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the impartial legal guardian, move right into Mississippi rules, map out the step-by-step process, decode key documents, flag those fatal errors and ethics, and finally, explore the business of signing.
Section 1. The impartial legal guardian. This is all about knowing your absolute strict boundaries at the signing table.
At its core, your primary job is actually not to verify the truth of a document's content or to figure out whether a loan is a good deal for the borrower. Your entire job rests on 3 pillars. Number 1, identity. You have to confirm they are exactly who they say they are using a current acceptable ID like a driver's license or passport. Number 2, willingness. You must make sure they aren't under duress or being coerced by, say, a spouse or a family member. And number 3, awareness. They just need a general understanding of what they're signing. If any one of these pillars is missing, well, your stamp absolutely does not touch that paper. Period.
Now, this brings us to a critical distinction in your career as an NSA. On one hand, you are a guide. You receive the documents, you point to where they need to sign, you witness it, notarize it, and return the package. But crucially, and this is a big one, you cannot explain loan terms, give legal advice, or predict interest rates. Crossing that line from a neutral guide to a counselor is considered the unauthorized practice of law, or UPL. It's a serious offense that can instantly cost you your commission.
Because you can't offer advice, borrowers are inevitably going to ask you things like, hey, is this a good interest rate? Or what does this legal clause even mean? You need to be armed and ready for this. This exact quote is your perfect deflection script. You should really commit this to memory. That's a great question. Your loan officer or the title company can explain that. Would you like me to flag it so you can call them before signing? It's polite, it's incredibly helpful, and best of all, it keeps you completely safe from the unauthorized practice of law.
Section 2. Mississippi rules. Let's look at the specific local laws every Mississippi notary needs to know to operate.
Okay, let's clear up a massive point of confusion for new notaries. Mississippi law requires you to carry a $5,000 surety bond, but listen closely. That bond protects the public from your misconduct. It doesn't protect you. If you make an honest mistake that causes someone financial harm, the surety company pays the public, and then they come right back to you to collect that money. That's exactly why you need heirs and omissions or E&O insurance. E&O is what actually protects you from financial ruin. Every single notarial certificate in Mississippi has to contain a strict checklist of elements. You absolutely need the date, the specific type of act, like a jurat or an acknowledgement, the exact name of the signer, your matching signature, and a completely clear, legible stamp. If your stamp smudges, you have to line through it, initial it, and restamp, but pay special attention to the very first requirement, the venue. The state and county written on the venue is always where you are physically standing at the exact moment of notarization, not where the property is located.
Section 3. The step-by-step process, taking you from assignment acceptance all the way to the FedEx drop-off.
Think of this as your operational timeline. It's like a finely tuned machine. Stage 1 is receiving the assignment and verifying all the borrower info. Stage 2 is critical, printing. You almost always have to print the package on a laser printer in both letter and legal sizes because these packages mix sizes constantly. Stage 3 is showtime at the table, where you guide the borrower, watch every single signature happen, and notarize as you go. You never, ever complete certificates after the borrower leaves. Finally, Stage 4, double-checking every single page for missed initials and dropping the package at the FedEx or UPS courier that exact same day.
Section 4. Decoding T documents. Let's navigate this paperwork battlefield.
Knowing what requires your official stamp before you even sit down is half the battle. For example, the promissory note is just the borrower's written promise to repay the loan. They sign it, but it does not require notarization. The closing disclosure, which lists out the final loan terms, also doesn't need your stamp. But the deed of trust? That pledges the property as security and gets officially recorded in the county land records. That is arguably the most important document to notarize correctly. Similarly, the occupancy affidavit, where they swear to their residency type, requires a notarized jurat.
Now, I really want to hit heavy on this number, 3.
In a primary residence refinance, federal law gives borrowers a strict 3-day right to rescind or cancel the loan. Funding literally cannot occur until this 3-day period expires, and by the way, that period excludes Sundays and federal holidays. As the NSA, you are legally required to provide exactly 2 copies of the Notice of Right to Cancel to each and every borrower on the title. If you fail to give them their 2 copies, the entire timeline can be ruined.
Section 5. Fatal errors and strict ethics. We're talking about the landmines at the closing table. These are the absolute top errors that get NSAs fired or worse, sued. Missing a stamp or a signature is an obvious one, but look closely at the dates. You must never, ever predate or postdate a certificate. It has to be the exact day the signer appeared before you. We already talked about wrong venues and smudged seals, but note that even a signer missing a required set of initials on some random page can cause a fully funded loan to collapse and be rejected by the county. And that very last one, notarizing for an absent signer, yeah, that isn't just a simple error. That is straight up fraud.
But wait, the stakes go way beyond just document errors. You have massive ethical and privacy obligations. Have you heard of the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, or GLBA? Because you are an independent contractor handling financial data, you are bound by federal law to strictly protect the consumer's non-public personal information, their NPI. These loan documents are completely loaded with social security numbers and bank account details. This means documents must be locked up in your trunk, shredded securely if they go unused, and absolutely never left unattended on your car seat while you run in to grab a coffee.
Section 6. The business of signing. Let's talk about making a living as an independent NSA.
$100,000. Yep, you heard that right. We talked earlier about Mississippi requiring a $5,000 surety bond. But if you actually want to survive and get hired in this business, title companies will demand you carry a minimum of $100,000 in E&O insurance. It's usually about $80 to $125 a year, but it is your required ticket to play in this industry.
So what's the payoff? As a 1099 independent contractor, the financial upside really comes down to your per-signing fees. A typical refinance might average around $115. A purchase package, which is generally a bit more involved, averages about $150. And a complex reverse mortgage, that can easily fetch $200 or more for just about an hour of your time. And if you do direct work for title companies instead of routing through digital platforms, those fees can be even higher.
But to get that sweet repeat business from title companies, you need to be a seasoned professional, not a chaotic novice. That means sticking religiously to these best practices. Dress business or business casual. Always arrive 10 to 15 minutes early so you aren't rushing in sweating. Bring backup blue ink pens because blue is the gold standard for original wet signatures. Bring your stamp, your journal, your ID. Keep your phone on silent and thoroughly log every single assignment in your journal. Even though Mississippi doesn't legally mandate a journal, every reputable title company will absolutely expect you to keep one to protect yourself.
To wrap up this explainer, let me leave you with this scenario straight from the practice exam. A signing agent who notarizes for a signer who is not physically present has done what? Is it just poor customer service, or have they crossed the line into outright fraud? The answer to that determines whether you keep your commission or face catastrophic legal consequences. Think about the massive weight of that responsibility the very next time you pick up your notary stamp. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.